Hello and welcome to this Town Talk special. Hope you're doing well on this Sunday morning. I'm your host, Stephen Downs, and with me, as ever, is the indestructible and very intelligent Kane Hall. How are you doing, mate, on this Sunday morning?
Who's told you that? He must clearly not know me. Injury prone over here. Definitely indestructible and knowledgeable. Oof. Yeah,
Yes,
you must
very.
be talking about somebody else, pal. But apart from that, yeah, I'm not too bad. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It was very nice to see Town get another win. You know what? We're getting used to this winning habit now, aren't we? To say that we hadn't over the last 3 seasons, or probably longer. It's actually nice to be talking once again with you on a Sunday morning, mate, about a win. But we'll go into that a little bit more. Obviously, Town's recent results are a 1-0 win over Wigan on Tuesday, and then a 2-1 win yesterday over a very good Mansfield Town team. And we'll dive into those wins a little bit more. But yeah, please do get your comments in. Please do like and share the video, and give the channel a follow. We'd really appreciate it. I think Steve and Jay are going to do a Leeds United special later on, and then we'll be back for our Monday Roundtable special tomorrow. But Kane, a 1-0 win first of all over Wigan. We were both there. We were both absolutely freezing at the John Smith Stadium. What were your initial thoughts on the game?
Well, I don't think it was as cold as you're making out. I mean, I had my big coat on, I had my little heater, I had a bit of a sweat on, to be fair, mate. I mean, I was very lucky, so I was absolutely sound. And what I made of the game, yeah, very, very dull first half. Absolutely bored to tears, really was. Wigan had a game plan, which was to come across, sit back, try and open Town up, be very patient, and see what they can get out of the game. And I don't blame them for that game plan. I thought it worked for the first half. Second half, it didn't. But what I would say as well is I was really impressed with the way Wigan played. It just didn't happen for them, unfortunately. But they opened up the space. They used the back three, back four, whichever they were moving into. The wingers were high and wide, and the way that the striker dropped in all the time just to open up that space. I actually really enjoyed it. If Wigan would have played like they did in the last 20 minutes of that game, they might have got something out of it. Sorry, if they'd have played for the 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes of that game, if they'd have played like that all game, they might have got something out of it. Because I thought they were really good. Like I said, they opened up the space quite well. They used a striker very well. The wingers are high and wide, but they were just too slow all game. And it's something that we've been talking about as watching Town, how slow they've been. Wigan were even slower. They had no tempo at all. And yeah, like I say, that first half was so dull. But Town obviously going on and getting the win in the second half, which I think they deserved it.
It was interesting. Wigan's tactics, they surprised me slightly in the fact that, like I said, they were slow in the build-up and they did play out from the back. I thought they used the number 8 particularly. They seemed to go through him over time. He sat kind of in front of the back three or back four. He was the deepest line midfielder, and he would spray the ball out or do the little intricate passes into midfield. And I felt that we didn't really deal with that particularly well in the first half, but then in the second half, we kind of got to grips with him. And I purposely watched Kasumu and particularly Herbie Kane, and they kind of dovetailed between that number 8. So they stopped him doing what he wanted to do in the second half. And I felt that was really effective. They kind of learned probably what they'd not been doing so well in the first half. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
It depends on what your class is. Are you talking about Smith, the actual number 8, or the position, the number 8?
No, the actual number 8, Smith.
Okay,
I thought he was kind of their best player, if I'm being honest.
Right. Okay. So with Smith and what he was doing is kind of irrelevant, his role, if you look at it on a wider scale, because all he was doing was coming so deep to just take you off the defender's toes. And he was kind of like the quarterback as such, and I get that kind of role and how it goes, and he's the playmaker of it all. And yeah, he's a good player, but I think it got to the point where Town had finally realised you don't need to chase him because he's not doing anything. He's just going so deep into his own line to collect the ball to make a sideward pass. So while we were trying to work that out, it was better to just give him that space. I thought Asgard would have been more dangerous, and they kept him quiet. It took him about 15 minutes to get a hold of him and see what he was doing.
Yeah.
After that, in the game again, and then you look at wherever you go to look at your stats or whatever, the players with the highest rating were their centre halves because they had more of the ball. Their midfield was, apart from Smith, was nowhere to be seen, just because of what Town were doing. They were sitting there, they were holding their shape at times and allowing Smith to go into his own defensive area to collect the ball off the defender's toes, which was just a little bit pointless because you've got your centre halves can do that. He could have gone further up the field and damaged Town, but he didn't, and that's what I thought we're going to fight. Like I said, they could have been a lot better. I was impressed with them, but they could have been a lot better. I don't think Smith impacted the game.
No, but he didn't, because of the way how I know that you said that you found the game boring, but I felt from a tactical point of view, he didn't do what probably he does in other games because of how good our midfield were and how structured they were in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, they closed off all the attack. They closed off the passing lines. If a pass was going forward from Smith, then Town were there quickly. Yeah, so you're cutting off what it does. So you allow him to go over there and do whatever you want to do, pal. Go take it off your defender's toes, do a 360, pass it sideways, fine. Just don't go forward. And that's what Town did. So that's why I don't feel like he impacted the game like he could have done. As you mentioned, because the Town structure was pretty good there. I do feel as if at times the decision to follow the man, which Hellick did, following the striker, was a poor one because that opens up space. I'd have preferred him to allow the striker, I think it was Taylor, to go into midfield, collect the ball. Yeah, go get it, because we've got midfielders there to force him backwards.
He did it twice, didn't he?
Yeah, when Hellick goes, that opens up the whole of the middle of that area. Whole of the middle, and they got through a couple of times. But again, they dealt with it. They did exactly what they needed to do. It was another clean sheet for Town. And
their finishing was poor, Kane. They had two chances, particularly the lad in the
Asamoah on the left-hand side absolutely spooned it with his left boot. It went into the second tier of the Terriers together stand. They should have done a lot better. Yeah, absolutely right. But it's about finishing your chances. How many times have Town been up against a team this year who have barely had a chance but have scored?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I think we've got to mention it as well, Steve. The fact that the goal scorer was called in the last podcast.
Yes.
Can we just mention as well, there was a goal disallowed as well. That goal scorer was also called in the last podcast. So I am claiming that as a victory. Mystic Hall over here called both goal scorers. Yes, one got disallowed. I don't care, but I'm still having it. And I did think Ollie Turton was absolutely fantastic at the weekend. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Definitely my man of the match. I said it while I was commentating that, not even just the goal, but everything about him was really good that game. Defensively, he had Asamoah on toast. I thought attacking-wise, they were getting himself good areas, good transition, both attack and defence. Yeah, really, really pleasing. I'm just so happy for him as well. No, I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I'm not his biggest fan. I find him very average, but he's the player that will just do what he needs to do. And sometimes you need players who will just do what you need to do. And I think he's done that over the last few games. And yeah, he got the deserved man of the match award from Sky as well. Got his first goal for Town. Really, really well deserved. You hear a lot about, Michael Duff said it, other managers say that Ollie Turn, good for him getting his injury, but he is just an absolute pro, just keeps coming in, keeps smiling, keeps getting on with what he needs to do. And yeah, I'm really happy for him. Glad he's got his goal and glad the performance are there. And I don't want to see him out the side at the minute.
Well, I was obviously we've done an agenda before the show because that's the amount of professionalism we do put into this program. But I did you make an interesting point that at the start of the season, and we did talk about this a lot when we particularly had the bad run, the two wing backs were getting caught out. We were getting caught out with the back three. Teams were getting in too easy behind us. I just wonder, although Ollie, although he scored against Wigan, he's not the most attacking fullback or wing back, sorry. I wonder whether that's made us more solid because of his sort of mindset to defend more rather than attack. On the other side, obviously we've had Josh Cromer, you've had Mikael Miller, that's obviously that side hasn't really changed. Well, it's changed, but it's not been as effective. But I think Turton's really made that position far more solid than what Sorensen did.
It's a bit of both, Steve. Obviously, Ollie Turton is a right back. Okay, he can attack. I think you've got to find the right areas of what to do with that certain position. It's a very, very tough position to play in this formation.
Yeah.
But also that the team now has had a lot of time. We're in December. They've been doing this probably since end of July. So I'm starting to feel as if that the team, because I've mentioned it before, that the team is starting to understand this formation week by week. And I think that is the difference as well. Would it if Ollie Turton would have started the season at right wing back, would it have been defensively as good as I feel that they are now? I don't think so. I generally don't think so. But I think because of the time, Steve, that Town have now had on the training ground, continuing learning this formation, which they'll be doing week on week on.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that's the difference as well. Ollie Turton also brings you a lot of defensive qualities as well. Plus, for me, a fullback and a wing back, it's not about them taking men on. It's about being up there supporting, finding that pass down into the little channel, getting the crossing, being another option. So it's about using what you've got, that tool of your own skills and that position in the right way. We've got Miller and Sorensen who like to drive at players, which is fantastic. But I want them to do that in the final third. I think Ollie Turton in the final third might think about doing that. But if he can find a pass with who someone's on or find a cross, he's going to do that because that's the better option. That's his game. And sometimes finding that pass, finding that cross is the better option over taking somebody on.
It was a great finish, to be fair, for a fullback. It was a tremendous goal to score. Obviously, like I said, a clean sheet. We're going to come on to Chapman a little bit later, but like you said, Wigan weren't a bad side. I didn't feel that they were they're not going to be up there. I don't think. I don't think they scored enough goals for that, to be honest. They did before that game have a better defensive record than us, but you could tell where they really struggle, and that's at the top end of the pitch. And I felt that was the difference, Kane. That we did deserve to win the game because of our attacking intent, even though we did miss key chances. Ourselves, Danny Ward could have scored.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on Danny Ward in a moment as well, actually, and I think it might surprise a few. But Wigan take too long at the back. That's why they don't score goals.
Yeah.
I mentioned the first half I was bored to tears. It's because they're just so dull and sideways and backwards. It's go forward, big penetrative with your passes. Get it up there. The striker dropped in twice and they opened up space twice. He did it twice all game. That's it. Do it all the time. Give it into him. Let him turn. Find the options. But we're not going to score goals if they continue playing like they did, which is with a back line and the sitting midfielder coming to take it off their toes. Get yourselves forward. That is the difference, because if they do go forward, they will score goals. But unfortunately, it looks like they didn't want to.
We moved on to the weekend, Saturday, where we come up against Mansfield Town. Obviously,
let me just touch on Danny Ward.
All right, go on then.
I thought he worked really hard at the week against Wigan. Now, technically, I don't think he had a great game. He won one header, and he turned a man once and won a free kick, which were a great bit of skill, by the way. Now, I'm very tough on him because I think technically he's not there, and I think he's a little bit past it. But he'd worked really, really hard. And I think sometimes that's all you can ask for. You know, you just want someone to go out there and work the socks off, not just mope around or anything like that. And he worked really hard, and I thought because of that, improved his performance against Wigan. Because
Yeah,
as I'm very harsh on him, but I'd rather have him in the team week in week out if he's going to work hard like that. I think, don't get me wrong, I think there's times where he should have been there when he wasn't, or headers that he could have won, or could have brought in play a little bit more. But I think sometimes you can forgive that if you've got someone who's willing to work hard for the team, and that can't be forgotten because we've these arguments happen all the time.
yeah,
When Town went up to the Prem, and we had two wingers, we had Elias Kachunga and Robin van der Para, and you go, which one do you want in your team? Because Van der Para will take you from your own byline to the opposition byline with the ball at his feet, but he might
yeah.
not. But he's got that technical brilliance about him. Whereas Elias Kachunga, technically awful, but I tell you what, he'll work hard for you. He'll run around and he'll work hard and he'll defend for his life for you. That's the kind of player that you want because then you build from that. And I think at the moment, that's why we're seeing Danny Ward starting because he's working harder than Radolovic and Ladapo. I mean, Callum Marshall works hard, we know that, but Danny Ward is doing more than the others at the moment, so he deserves his start if he is working that hard, regardless of what I think technically.
I did like Rajiv as a winger. I was in his camp of I did really like the lad, to be honest, but I know he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. Like I kind of like Sean Scannell, but for different reasons. Like Sean Scannell would be good. Sean Scannell will be good for the last 10 minutes if you want to hold it up in a corner. I mean, nobody was getting the ball off him, bless him. But Rajiv, yeah, excited me. Anyway, that was in the past. That was in the glory days. Let's continue to talk about now. Before we move on to Mansfield, actually, let's mention another striker who came on the pitch, Freddie Ladapo. You coach football, Kane, right? So you are probably in more of a position. I play the game, as in I'm at Goldbridge saying, not at any great level, by the way, but you coach it. What was that performance on Tuesday from him? And let's not go like too deep on it because like he came on Saturday and did all right, but like what? How can you improve his game? What would you be saying to him right now? Because it seems like whatever he does is just not very good, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, this is a really good question, actually. I think you have to try and play to his strengths. So you've got to find what his strengths are.
Yeah.
And again, I'm clutching here because I'm trying to find what they are at the moment. Maybe that's because I've not seen him enough. Okay, maybe I've not seen him enough. But he's a big lad. He's a big, strong lad. So for me, I'm looking at him going, he needs that ball to be played to feet. Okay, he's not that quick. He's not that sharp. His agility is not that great. So we need to try and find his feet. Okay, we can get him to run onto something and chase down.
When he collects the ball.
Pardon?
When he collects the ball.
When he wants. He needs ball to feet at the moment. He's not a kind of player who's obviously the fans' reaction when he went to win a header and he actually won it says it all. And I don't think that's a message to the player. I think that's a message to others about the recruitment of him, because for me, I would think about this the other day. I'm thinking, if he scored so many goals for Ipswich, how many chances were they creating? How good were Ipswich?
Yeah.
If he scored that many goals. I don't think Town are at that level what Ipswich were when he scored them goals. So you actually need a technically gifted player in there as well to go and do that. And he is, I don't think he's technically gifted. He's probably one of them players who was an athlete growing up and has become a big lad, a fast lad, and has been told to go play football, and this is what you'll do. I don't think he's a header of the ball, which is quite clear that the fans don't think that as well. I just want to see him hold the ball up last few minutes, and I think that's his game, but that's a team thing. You have to find the strength with each other. So if I've got a short striker playing up front, Callum Marshall, I'm going to find it going short into him so he can run off the defender and turn. So I'm not going to play it straight into him. I'm going to play it a little bit off him. I'm going to play it to the side of a defender so he can get to it, and I'm going to play it in behind. I'm not going to do that to Ladapo. I'm going to play it into his feet. I want him there holding off the defender behind him.
Yep.
Don't come near me, play into my feet, drop off 1-2. He's basically there as a wall.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you play five-a-side or whatever, use a wall to kick off. That's all. That's what he needs to be there for. Be a wall, drop off, use the 1-2s, spin and turn, get in the box. That's his role. That's what his role needs to be.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're under pressure, like Town were on Tuesday, all you're going to do is go along because Town were very under pressure for that last 20 minutes. So you're not always going to find feet. Maybe I want him to battle a little bit more, but again, he's a lot of work to do. He was a free for a reason. He's probably not as fit as sharp as everybody else should be, but we're in December now. If he's not fit and sharp by January, there's something wrong.
I still think that obviously we need. I would still go out and buy 2 strikers, if I'm being honest, but that we know that's maybe probably not going to happen. Let's move on to Mansfield. So it was a good win against Wigan, although nervy. That's how I described it after the game. We go into Saturday yesterday where we didn't even know if the game was going to be on, let's be honest, because 10 minutes down the road, Notts County had cancelled their game due to the storm. But the fixture was on. The wind was probably one of the worst I've ever seen at a football ground, if I'm being honest. Like, their keeper kicked the ball 5 times. I counted it. And by the 5th, I was like, mate, why are you not getting the message where every time you kick the ball, it's literally coming back to you because of the way the wind is? But, we start nervy, I think. I don't think it was the best of starts. And then by the 12th minute, we get into it. The first goal came was a great move. I mean, it starts all the way back from Chapman. If you watch it from, there's a lovely angle that Town have put up on Twitter behind the goal. Starts with Chapman, ends up with Josh Caroma, who goes past Lucas Aitkins, who was a very good player back in his day, by the way. But absolutely motors past him, puts a good cross into the box, and Ben Wiles comes up with a nice finish that, all right, it's the post, but he's there in the box. And 6th goal of the season, showing how important he is to this team, Kane.
Yeah, great move. And I think when conditions like that, Steve, it's an absolute leveler for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see some different results as well over the weekend. Some that we weren't, maybe some that we wouldn't have expected. But it seems as if the teams that should have won did, because that weather, that wind, all it takes is just a bit of a breeze. If it is a bit of a breeze this weekend, and things can turn sideways. And as you mentioned, I don't think Town adapted to the wind straight away, but as you mentioned, about 10 minutes into it, they did. So I was fairly comfortable with it. And yeah, well, it was a fantastic goal. That's what Josh Caroma is about.
100%.
It's about being out wide and getting around people.
Yeah.
And I don't see him as a central player. I just don't. But I was so happy to see him out wide and doing that and having a go at someone. And I still feel as if he needs a bit of confidence. I do feel as if he needs a bit of confidence. And I hope that helps him, because it was superb to see him going down that wing, get around his man, fire that cross in.
3 times he did it in space of 20 minutes. You could tell it by the 3rd time, Kenny, he was properly enjoying himself on that left wing.
Because that's where he prefers to be, and he can see that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't fit this formation. So you're having to find a spot for him. He's not a wing back, and he's not a central striker. He's a left winger. That's where he plays his best football. But Town are trying to get him into the side. Michael does trying to get him inside. I get that. But he prefers it out there. You can see that. Surely you can see that. I'd like to think you can see that, because I can. But yeah, like I say, done it a few times. Looks great out there. Ben Wiles doing what Ben Wiles does at the moment. Popping up, right place, right time. Scoring goals, having fun. He's loving life. He's absolutely loving life, isn't
he? He's taking that caravan off yesterday, didn't he?
I thought he worked really hard. Yeah, well, you've given some stick in the past. I think maybe you more than me on Ben Wiles and the other two.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, he's he's doing all the right things this year. He just looks like he's playing with confidence. He looks like he's really enjoying himself because I thought during the weekend, I thought he went missing a little bit. Didn't really see him that much, which we are having them inconsistencies with him. But popped up this weekend with an all important goal, doing what he needs to do, and I thought he had a fantastic game as well. That is the role that the midfielders are playing in this formation. You have to be there. You have to be there. Get inside the box. That's why we're seeing goals from Evans, from Wiles, from Kasumu, because they've got the freedom to go and do that. Because you've got the wing backs who should be further back. So Karoma's gone down the left-hand side, which means turn down the right. He's just going to hold off a little bit. He's not going to go there. He's going to hold off a little bit. Gives you that bit of cover. You've got the two midfielders. They can get in there.
That's what I mean. That's kind of what I meant by Turton being solid, though, because Wiles knows that he can go forward now, and he knows that somebody's going to be there to cover. So I think Turton psychologically has made Ben Wiles get into the box. I think the reason I was or have been critical of him, and maybe the other two as well, but from my own opinion and perspective, is because I know that he can be a good player, and I know that he can be one of the top players in this league and sort of dominate that position and be one of the best players, across the season. And because we haven't seen it, and because he's obviously been on low on confidence, and he's probably not had the right manager speaking to him. We've not seen the best of Ben Wiles. I know when we signed him from Rotherham, we were signing a good player. All right, it's Rotherham, but you're signing a good player. Now we're seeing it in certain performances, and I just want to see it on a consistent basis. All right, he was quiet on Tuesday, but I thought Herbie Kane stepped up. I thought David Kasumu stepped up. I think Herbie Kane, by the way, has been consistently good now for 3-4 games. I think that's great to see. But I know Ben Wiles can score goals in this division. He's got 6 already. There's no reason why he can't hit double figures if he wants to in this campaign.
Yeah, I'd agree, Stephen. And let me touch on your first point there with the Ollie Turton thing. That's the formation, mate. That's the formation. As I mentioned, they're now understanding it more and more. If the ball's gone down the left-hand side with your wing back, your right wing back cannot go. They have to go half and half. They cannot go. That leaves you too open. And again, an understanding of that. Wilesy, he's just like I say, he's just enjoying himself. He's scoring goals and he's being given the freedom to play and do what he needs to do. Get inside that box and see what happens. And again, he did it this weekend.
We've got some comments coming in. Morning, lads. From Craig, you all right, mate? And hope Marshall's injury from Blue Terry isn't too serious. Yeah, let's hope so. We don't do well with injuries, do we? So I'm sure we'll get an update from Michael Duff probably tomorrow because we've got the Crap Cup coming up on Tuesday. I'm sure Kane will be going over to Lancashire to see that one. And we've also got a comment here from Jed. Nice to see you, Jed. Thanks for joining us on the show all the way from Sydney, Australia. Well, I'm sure you're having a fun time over there. God knows what time it is, mate.
So good evening, mate.
Yeah. Whatever time it is, Jed, let us know. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to watch the show, mate. Really do appreciate it. He also says Karoma was poleaxed and the ref gave a throw-in. We'll be watching a different game. We weren't, Jed. I thought it was a foul as well, mate. But there we are. The referee didn't. Standards of
I couldn't believe that one, by the way. That was awful.
Standards of EFL refereeing. There we are.
It's laughable, isn't it? But yeah, that was definitely a free kick. Definitely a free kick.
It wasn't a penalty. I will add it, because it's outside the area. But the keeper should have been sent off because he was last man, and it was a free kick. But c'est la vie, we still won the game. They come back, Kane, with a scrappy corner, but Evans, Chapman makes a save. I agree with what other pundits have kind of said listening to him, where he makes a save. He couldn't do a lot about it because the actual ball wasn't going very quickly, so he's just palmed it out into an area. The defenders out there to clear it, and Evans, who is a good player at this level, stuck it away. So disappointing that they got that goal. I don't know, tactically from you, could we have done things differently? We probably could have.
Yeah, you can always do things differently, but I don't really want to touch on it too much, Steve, because again, the conditions at this weekend is an absolute leveler. It really is, and there's a bit of a weird kind of rivalry, isn't there, between town and town, between Huddersfield and Mansfield, all the way back from was it 2004 Cardiff?
Yeah.
So it's
Millennium Stadium, Peter
yeah,
Jackson.
the conditions are a real leveler. It's a bit of an intense rivalry, weird rivalry game. So I thought anything could happen. So the fact that Town conceded, I was expecting it at some point, and when you concede, Steve, I'm looking for the reaction. I'm looking for a reaction, and that's the important thing here. We can go into tactics about why the ball went in, what they could have done better, but more importantly, Town reacted in a positive way, and they got the second goal.
Yeah. Could Chapman have done better?
Maybe. Like I say, I don't want to be too harsh because I feel like I can be quite negative here at times. And Town on a great run, so I'm going to try and be positive this morning.
Oh, that's good. That's good. By the way, I don't know whether it's just because we started like, are we getting a fan group in Australia? Because this is magnificent. Brisbane, we've got Brisbane now. Let's get Adelaide in as well. Anybody from Adelaide in? Because it's a bit of a weird fan group. I'm not going to lie, from Australia. Like, I don't know what the time is over there, but absolutely fantastic that you guys are tuning in. It's great.
Love it. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
No, it is really appreciated.
And everybody, Chaddy, Blue Terrier, Jed, Floyd, love it. Thank you.
We obviously, like I said, the reaction was positive, and I mean, Josh Koroma. If you go down the years and you show a reel of Josh Koroma goals, that is a blueprint of a Josh Koroma goal, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. He loves doing that. He absolutely loves doing it, and this is the thing though, isn't it, Steve? Because when he's enjoying himself, he'll score goals. If he's on the left-hand side, goes out, enjoys it, does what he wants to do, and he breeds confidence. And he goes in over on that left-hand side, and he just loves to open that body out. That, as you say, it's the blueprint. Opens up his body, right foot, curls it to the far side. It's Josh Koroma coming. You just know it is. And most of the time, it goes in the back of the net. I'm so glad that he's got a goal, Steve, because
I was too. It won me bet.
Yeah. I don't know if it was his the last podcast or the podcast before, and I was saying that just want to see him get a bit of confidence. That will do him the world of good. Goes down the left helps for the first goal, gets the second goal. Absolutely superb. Really, really happy for him. Really happy for him. And I hope we start to see him now flourish again, like he did at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to mention it again how many times I have that. I feel like he's looking good at the moment. But yeah, let's hope this breeds some confidence into him and he can start, keep these performances coming consistently.
Second half was a bit more of a battle. Mansfield were obviously going to push forward. They had, chances that we hit the bar as well, by the way. But, at the end, Tom Lees, bless him. I mean, his heart must have been in his mouth in literally the last minute of the game when he heads that ball and it hits the bar. I mean, Chapman's there. Like, I would have liked to have think that if it had dipped slightly lower, Chapman was making the save. But my God, like, we don't do it easy, do we, Kane?
Never do it easy. Why would they? It's Huddersfield Town. Got to do it the hard way. That's the only way to do it. Come on, surely you should know this by now. Yeah, look, wind against you in that second half. Always going to be tough. I think games like that in them conditions can go two ways. Standard, right? But you either flourish with a wind against you, or you go, we've got the wind against us. And I felt as if Town at times were a bit like, we've got the wind against us, rather than trying to flourish with it. You kind of have to change your game plan on what you do, but Michael Duff stuck to what he knows best, and it worked absolutely fine in the end because Town again have got 3 points, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was going to be tough in the second half. Yeah, we had that moment at the back end, but I did feel comfortable throughout the game, knowing that Town are doing all right here. And what I would say is that maybe a month ago we mentioned that the performances were awful, but we got 3 points. And I feel like now, Steve, the performances are getting better week on week in, and we're getting 3 points. So it's not just the 3 points we're getting; it's a bit of a performance as well, and that makes such a difference to the travelling fans. Right, 2,000 down there, everybody watching, everybody listening, and then the next home game and the home game after that. And when
Yeah.
people are seeing these performances improving and the 3 points, people are going away going, "I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Good that." Not going, "Yep, well, 3 points." It's more of a, "Yeah, it was enjoyed that game" kind of thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed the second half against Wigan. I thought the first, like I said, I've already mentioned the first half was poor, but the second half a bit like enjoyed that. It was decent. You know, Mansfield, I thought, yeah, good that. And I just feel like we're starting to get there with the performance. But again, it's that time with understanding with the manager, the formation, and all the players. It is just a time thing. But yeah, they held on, Stephen, and as you mentioned, it's well, as I mentioned, it's another 3 points.
We go to now 9 unbeaten, which I've tried to look. I don't know the record, but whatever the record is, obviously we went 48 games unbeaten under Lee Clark, didn't we? So we've got a bit to go to beat that. But in terms of this run, we've kind of started at the beginning very tentatively at the beginning of this run. I think you're absolutely right. You know, 2-3 weeks ago, I called the podcast, you know, get unbeaten but nervy, like we don't trust it yet. And after the game, it was really good to see that all the players and all the backroom staff went over to the fans. You know, 2,000 of them, as you said, went down to Mansfield. And there's just starting to be that little bit of a connection. And I think it was all right at the start of the season, but it was too inconsistent. Then we had the horrendous FA Cup game, and I think that did a lot of damage at the time. But now, you know, at the point where we are now, just see those strands of trust between supporters and manager, particularly. You know, maybe not if all the players, but particularly in Duff, just starting to be created. Kane, I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, I've always liked Duff. I've always, even after defeats, he's come out and said we were crap or we were this or we were other. You know, he's honest. He's an honest character. But there just seems to be feeling that bit of magic going on, or the start of it.
Again, you've got to show me something. Do you know what I'm saying, Steve? You've got to show me a performance. And again, I've literally just mentioned it because I feel as if a month ago it were 3 points, but it wasn't a performance, whereas now it's 3 points and the performances are coming there. When you're happy with something, you're going to appreciate it. If you're not happy with something, you're going to go, what's that? No, and football fans are never happy. Football fans are never happy. Now, they can go to the next game, and if Town lose, but it's the best performance all season, all them players will get a round of applause.
Yeah.
They'll get a standing ovation. That's the way it works. If they go to the next game, win it by 6, and the performance is poor, people will go, oh, we're all right.
Yeah.
Because people want to see a good game. It's entertainment. People want to be entertained. They want to see good football. They want to see a good performance. They want to see get 3 points.
Yeah.
3 points. Look, in a league, of course, Town want to go up. 3 points is everything. But as a fan, sometimes you just want to enjoy it. And I think the more the fans enjoy it, seeing a good performance, not a result of performance, they're going to get that connection with each other. Because if you're going out, go on.
Do you think though, you know, things like at the end help that? You know, Duff going up, you know, spending a bit of, you know, even if it's 2 minutes just at the end. You know, I've seen the video. Obviously, Hoggy's in the middle, absolutely loving life, swinging his arms about, you know, which is great. That's what we love to see. It's Johnny Hogg in it. But I do feel that yesterday was maybe a turning point slightly. I got that feeling.
I want to say it all the time. I don't. We win, lose, draw, whatever. You go got to show your appreciation to them fans who are spending their hard-earned money on going to follow you about. You know, wherever they go in the country, the town fans are there. Now, honestly, mate, they work hard and they spend up a lot of time, a lot of money to go and follow it. And if a performance isn't there, they deserve to give what they feel. And if a performance is there, then they're going to appreciate it because it's what they've earned to go and do it. And regardless, the players and the coaches should always be going over and saying, you know, thank you. And you know what? I wouldn't mind if the players went over and went, sorry, but we were poor today. Sorry about that. Because I think as a fan, I'd appreciate that. Because they're acknowledging the fact that, one, they were poor, and two, that these fans have made the trip or whatever, spent their money to go and follow them. So you've got to go with the ups and the downs as a player, as a coach, wherever you go. And again, when you have a good performance or a fairly decent performance and you get 3 points, you're going to get scenes like that because that's what it's about. And I think we can't forget about the fans, how much it means to them. We're having a conversation with somebody the other day about how much football means to people up here. And sometimes it means everything. So you have to show your appreciation. Look, Tamworth away, when we lost in the FA Cup, the players didn't even come near them. I kind of don't blame them, but they should have done. They're allowed to show the frustration. They're allowed to. They're the fans. Go over and go, yeah, sorry, we were awful. We were bad.
I wonder if that were a turning point for Duff, where he learned so much about some of these lads. Because I find it interesting, since the Tamworth game, the performances have got better. And I just wonder why that is. Yeah, I know that you said about the learning of the formation and things like that. Obviously, we've had injuries since then and people have come in and out of the team. But there's something in there. There's definitely something there from that Tamworth game that's happened, whether it's on the training ground or behind the scenes or whatever. There's something changed.
Something had to change, Dave. They were bloody awful. They're absolutely shocking. Lost to a part-time team. And some of these boys are getting what? A week?
Yeah.
Absolute joke. Mentality from somewhere has changed, as you mentioned. But it had to. You cannot continue like that. Something had to change. Whether it's the way Duff is with players, whether he's become a bit more, no, but that's not good enough, sort it out, otherwise you're not in here. Whether there's players who were bringing everyone down and they're training on their own or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying that is the case, but something had to drastically change after that. And did we have an international break after that game as well?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So you've got an extra couple of weeks there. Again, it's one of them where you look at it and you go, something had to change, and they've done it. Whatever it is, it has changed. But are we going to get to the point where if they lose the next game, the game after that, are they back to square one?
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
You don't know. You can't tell, can you? You just have to take it as it is. And at the moment, it looks positive. It looks positive. After that, such a bad negative. Maybe they'll look to everything that's been said online. Maybe they'll look to the fans' reaction at the game. Maybe they'll look to what people say online, the papers, whatever, and gone, uh-oh, that's bad. Maybe they've had a hard look at themselves in the mirror and gone, uh-oh, we need to sort ourselves out now, big time. Maybe that's what they've done. Because now, I don't think they'd lose to Tamworth. Unfortunately, at the time they did, because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I am seeing a bit more positivity around the group at the moment.
Yeah, which is good. We one of our both our Australian friends commented again. Laugh out loud. Born in Australia was Floyd, but my parents are from Huddersfield. Never supported anyone else. That's great, mate. To see, and also Jed says, Spencer boys, what's happening? Turton Brillo, I love that term by the way. Since he's been picked, we look more settled. 9:30 at night here. Wombats are out. Right, well, great that you're watching this at 9:30 at night. Really, as again, really do appreciate it. But yeah, Spencer Kane. Duff's been quite honest about him. I know we've got other points to come on to, so we'll just quickly touch on Jed's point. But yeah, Duff said about him that he's made some rash tackles, done some mistakes in the last couple of games, Charlton, Blackpool, so he's taking him out of the team. I just wonder if that's, Duff protecting him a little bit, maybe trying to teach him a couple of things. Obviously, he was a centre back himself, so he kind of knows maybe the errors that Spencer's making.
Maybe not so much just protecting him, but wanting to get the victories. Because if he's making mistakes, it's costing points. And I like Spencer. I think he's a great player. He's very young though. He's very young, very rash. So take him out. Has to learn that sometimes you can't just go diving in like he does. He has been away on international duty some of these times, so he's come back tired, and then all the turns come in. You can't take him out of the team. Sometimes it's that simple. And it's a point I'm going to come on to. And this might fit in nicely for you with Chapman.
Yes.
Because Spencer was tired when he came back from international duty, made a few rash decisions. Turton comes in, take me out at team, says Turton. It's my position now, take me out at team.
Yeah.
You can't because he's playing well. I don't think there's anything else with Spencer. It's just the fact that is Ollie Turton is playing superbly right now. So now we're going to swiftly move over to Chapman here.
Segue.
Does he stay as number one? You like that, Steve? It's part of your agenda. Take me out the team, says Jacob Chapman. Go on, take me out the team. I'm doing exactly what you're asking me to do. I'm making great saves at important times.
Yeah.
Take me out the team. It's his spot to lose.
Yeah. In terms of Chapman, I mean, look, Maxwell's number 2, very experienced goalkeeper. Nichols, we know, has had an injury. I don't think it's actually known where he is with his injury at the moment. I'm sure when he first did it, they said like 10 weeks out, but it seems like it's been more than that. So obviously, I don't know if they're just making his recovery more or whether he's actually fit, but he just can't get in the team now. Maxwell seems to be the one that's still on the bench. So, listen, is Chapman number 1? Will he be the number 1 come the end of the season, do you think? Because I haven't seen him make really a big error at the moment. I mean, you go through the other goalkeepers that we've had in the past, like the young lad that we had in the Championship that made error after error. And he was sent up to Scotland on loan, and then we found him out. We sold him.
Ryan Schofield.
That's it, Ryan Schofield. A lot of pressure on him, the lad. But, Chapman's young as well. I think he's only 19 or 20. And our Aussie friends will like this because he's Australian. What's your view on him being number 1 for the rest of the season?
It's a tough one because goalkeeper union, it's they're a different breed, aren't they? To everyone else that plays football. For me, he's currently got the number 1 shirt. Take it off me. That's all I'm saying. Take it off him. You can't take him right now. If Lee Nichols comes back and he's fit, Lee Nichols has to show something extremely good to get himself back in there. He's a great goalkeeper, he's Lee Nichols. I think technically Nichols is better. Obviously got a bit more experience about him as well as Nichols. But Chapman isn't doing anything wrong at the minute. And the reason, if he was, Maxwell would be in goal. Does it remind
you a little bit of when Alex Smithies first came into the team? I mean, Alex was even younger. He was only like 17. But it's got a bit of that about it, hasn't it?
No, I think Smithies were just brilliant. I think Chapman's good, but I don't think he was Alex Smithies level kind of thing. But again, it's just one of them. He's not doing anything wrong. His distribution's good. His shot stopping's good. He made another good today, which was quite close to him down to his left-hand side. I think that was in the first half. He's pulling out. The other one. When was it? When Town won 2-1, and he made a save last minute. The referee gave a free kick and they took it.
Charlton.
Yeah,
Charlton at home.
Yeah, Charlton at home. The referee gave a free kick edge at box, and Charlton took the free kick quickly, not on the spot. The referee allowed play on. He comes out of it off his line, makes a fantastic save, like the 95th minute, and then game's over. And he's won Town the game.
Yeah.
He deserves to stay there until he makes a mistake, and it is cutthroat. If he makes a big mistake when all three are fit, there might be a change. But until then, I wouldn't change it.
No, and his distribution is very good, by the way, with his feet. I think for a young goalkeeper, I mean, I know most of them are taught now in the academy to have good feet, aren't they? They all have to be little Edisons or Allisons, but he has got a hell of a kick on him, even in the wind at the weekend.
Yeah, he's got a great kick on him, but they say about him being a young goalkeeper. I don't care about your age. If you're good enough, you're good enough. But yeah, you're starting to see more goalkeepers good with their feet, and they have to be, because that's the modern way of football. You don't have a goalkeeper just boots the ball these days. They need to be able to pass, and yeah, he's got a bit about him.
Let's move on to the looking forward and ahead. On Tuesday, as I say, we are heading over to Lancashire. Not me and Kate personally, although Kate, you might be going, but heading over to the Tough Sheet Stadium. I have to get that right.
Good job you're not Italian saying that.
for the Crap Cup or the Bristol Street Motors Cup, to give it his.
No, it's not even that anymore, mate. It's is it Virtue Trophy now?
What is it actually?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is the absolute most pointless trophy going. It's that pointless. Even the sponsors don't want to sponsor it anymore. So they have to get another sponsor. Absolute waste of time for everybody.
I didn't know it had changed. All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
All the professionalism here. Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, Bolton. Do we care? Are we bothered? I mean, it's another chance to get through to another round.
Get to Wembley. We'll all be caring, mate. We'll be there.
Me and you, it comes box.
We'll be there. If Town get to Wembley, we'll be there, believe me. But I do just think it's an absolute waste of time of energy and effort, and business-wise, it just doesn't make sense. It's just an absolute pointless trophy that nobody cares about, really. Even the sponsors don't, because they had to pull out and get another sponsor in. It just says it all. But I hope Town go and win. So
the risk is, do you play the same team?
Yes.
And keep the winning momentum on?
Yeah, no, you play the same team.
But you risk possibility of injuries.
Yeah, look, I know Blue Terrier just commented now saying, would you like to see one of these youngsters playing on Tuesday? No, I wouldn't actually. I want to go see Town win. I want Town, they need confidence. They're on unbeaten run. They need to keep winning. And this is what it's about now. It's not sometimes earlier on in the season, it's about playing other players, giving the youngsters a go. Now it's about winning. It's about momentum. It's about confidence. You have to play. The majority of the players that played this weekend on Tuesday, the majority of them have to go into that game going, we want to win. We want to go and win this game, regardless of where it takes us in the next round or whatever. It's a game. Let's go win it. You have to go and win. You have to breathe that mentality into you, that confidence. It has to ooze around the facilities, the training ground, the stadium, the team. Winning games makes everything a lot easier, and they have to go and do this again on Tuesday. So I'm not bothered who plays. Sorry, no, I am bothered who plays because I want it to be a similar team. They have to go and win that game.
Freddie play to get him confidence?
No.
Okay.
I want a winning team, Steve.
A winning team. All right. If Freddie's watching, we're sorry about that. And then after Tuesday, like I said, we'll pass over that quite quickly. We go into a very tough game against Lincoln City. Now, they've got a manager who is very highly rated. Probably will go on to bigger and better jobs if he performs well at Lincoln. I feel this is going to be probably the biggest test since Birmingham, Kane. I don't know if that's fair.
No, I don't agree. I think, Wigan coming is a tough test. Charlton is a tough test. They're all in and around it, aren't they? So are these kind of teams, and there's a bit of I think you can split this league into three groups. You've got your top 8 or top 6 that are good, and then you've got about 14 teams that are average who can do you dirty, and
Then
then
you've got Crawley.
and then you've got some really poor teams who are just
Poor.
yeah, without being too harsh, they're just shocking. So yeah, Lincoln are in a bit of bad form. That could turn around next weekend. That could all turn around. But the most important thing about this, Steve, is Huddersfield Town are at home.
Yep.
Huddersfield Town are at home. I saw a stat on Twitter over the week, something about first time Town have won 9 games at home or something like that consecutively in 21 years or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a fortress. You know, I'm looking at Michael Duff and the team and Huddersfield Town. I'm going, come to the John Smiths and beat us. Go on, I dare you. Try it. Now the performances are starting to get there. They've already been getting the 3 points. The performance is starting to come. The confidence is breeding around. Not just the team, but the stadium as well. I'm thinking, come on then, let's have a go. Show us something. But Lincoln, like Wigan, will probably come up and go, yeah, we probably just need to try and get a point here. So it's down to Town.
Do you think that's not in their manager's mindset, though, to be fair?
Yeah, that's what they all say, mate.
Well, it's true. He was coach under, was it Bielsa at Leeds? I think.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
he's a very confident chap, put it that way.
Yeah. Look, people say, oh, yeah, we always go for the win. Yeah, not always. They don't. Not always. You're telling me Wigan came to win last week?
No, I don't necessarily think Wigan did. But I think you're underestimating how good Lincoln are as a side.
Or am I just that positive about Huddersfield Town at the moment?
Well, that is the other way to look at it. I mean, I'm also very positive about where Huddersfield Town are at the moment, but I'm also realistic to know that, you know, they've had some decent results. Yes, they've had some bad form recently of Lincoln, and that isn't, you know, you can't deny that. Mansfield also were in bad form, and they're also a decent side at this level, having come up from League Two. But I just don't think we can be starting to go into games cocky either. Let's be professional about it, you know.
There's a difference between cocky and confident, Steve, and you've got to find that right balance between it. And I don't think Town are cocky, and I think they've only just started to gain that confidence, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think they are getting closer and closer and closer to being able to find that balance between cockiness and confidence. But they'll never be cocky because there's a lot of work to do. And I think Michael Duff is grounded with that and understands that be cocky when you go and win the league. When you've won the league, be cocky. That ain't happening anytime soon, is it?
Just imagine if we did win the league, it would be the first time in our lifetimes that Town had actually win a league. I mean, I'm not saying right here, right now in November that we're going to go win the league, by the way, but it would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Steve, who wants to win the league when you can go to playoffs and win on penalties?
No, we don't want that because we the only way that we win the playoffs is if we end the season on 81 points. That is statistically correct because that's the only time we go up.
Steve, Huddersfield Town only go up by winning penalties in the playoffs. It's that simple. Don't know why you think why you even brought in winning. Look, winning the league is for other teams. Going up for Huddersfield Town is about going to the playoffs and winning on penalties. That's all it is. That's all it will ever be for Huddersfield Town. That is it's written into football law. If Huddersfield Town get promoted, it's because they've won on penalties in the playoff final. That's it. There's no other way about it.
Yeah, that is true. That is you are speaking truth there. And I'm missing penalties in penalty shootouts, by the way, as well, making it even more nervy.
Got to miss a couple. But my point is that Town aren't going to get cocky, but they are going to start breeding a lot of confidence in from this run that they're on and the performance that they've been having recently. You know, and Adam said it as well on the chats. Bring anyone to the John Smith Stadium. Top 10 bars they still have to visit. You know, so they're building up the right way about this of teams coming to us because, as I say, the momentum at the moment is decent. The confidence is coming through, and I'm looking at Town going, all right, okay, I know how to beat Huddersfield, but I think it's becoming a lot harder to beat them. So now it's time that Town continue to show what they've got going forward.
Just lastly, we've got comments again from Jed saying match fitness. Same with Sorensen. Heavy pitches, crap weather. Duff can't just put them in. Good problem to have. And Adam says if we do win League One, it'll be we'll have won all 4 divisions, which would have been nice. Can I get a score prediction for you, Kane, for the 2 fixtures? I know you don't care about Bolton, but let's pretend that you do care for literally 5.5 seconds.
Okay, let me just mention on Jed's comment about good problem to have.
Yeah.
Obviously, great problem. Obviously, when I'm coaching, I've currently got about 28 players, more players wanting to come and trial. If I've got all them players available, I hate it. I hate it because I have to pick 14 players out of them all, and it is really, really tough because these boys are good players, and on that level for Huddersfield Town now, we've got these professional players who are all brilliant. It is really, really hard to pick a team. Injuries help because it makes it a little bit easier, but such a great problem to have. So Town will win 2-1 on Tuesday against Bolton.
Scorers, because get your crystal ball out.
I've not got a scorer. I've not thought about a scorer for Tuesday, but I'm telling you that Michael Helik will score the only goal in a 1-0 victory against Lincoln next weekend.
Right. Okay. You've heard it here first, chat. All the way from here to Australia, that Michael Helik will win us the game.
By the way, Steve, have you clipped it my section from last week?
No, but I will. But I will do, and I'll definitely be clipping this up for next weekend.
Okay,
definitely.
Well, can you get that clipped up ASAP for me? Thanks.
Adam's gone for 2-1 v Lincoln and a penalty v Bolton. Josh Caroma definitely to take the penalty v Bolton, 100%. And yeah, so we've come to the end. Really, it's been a really enjoyable podcast. Thanks everybody for commenting. We really do appreciate it. And yeah, just hopefully Town can get 2 more wins and take it to 11 unbeaten. Would it be last 16? No, not last 16 in the. What would it be in the cup? Would it be quarterfinals?
What, in the Pointless Trophy?
Yeah, I think it's quarterfinals in it if we go through. Sure it is.
Shall we have a look at the draw?
Yeah,
it's the last 16 at the minute, I think.
Yeah, so it'll be quarterfinals if we win. I know basically there's only one under 23 side left in, which is laughable. I don't know why they don't just put non-league teams in. If we're honest,
well, they have their own.
Yeah, they have their own, and all the non-league teams hate their own competition as well, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Right. That brings us to the end of the stream. So thank you once again, Kane, for joining me on this fantastic Sunday morning. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, mate.
Thank you very much, pal. Hope you do too. We've got a bit of adult in things to do, such as going to the shops in this wind and rain. Yeah, fantastic. I love being an adult. It's great fun.
It is. Well, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be back very soon. Like I said, Jay and Steve will, I think, be doing a Leeds United special. But nobody on this stream wants to watch that. And then we've got the Monday night, and then we've got the Monday night show for Round Table. I'm missing the game, unfortunately, against Prague. Unfortunately, against Lincoln, because I'll be in Prague. But I'll be able to speak to Kane the week after to see.
Steve, you know what you'll be able to do when you're in Prague? You'll be able to listen to my commentary, won't you?
I'll be able to listen to your commentary, but I don't know how that'll go down with my girlfriend. I'm not going to lie. But we'll see.
What's more important?
Listening to your commentary, mate, in Prague.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
Right, okay, we are ending the stream. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Like, subscribe, and view the video. And we'll see you very shortly. See you later.